Dead by Daylight, a game where survivors are OP, complain a lot, and believe the only way the game is fair is if killers follow their made up rulebook. Hi, Original here, and today I'll be discussing how realistic a game about killers killing survivors in an ongoing hellish playground of sacrifices and death can be. Would the survivors even have a chance at taking those brutal attacks from the killers? Let's find out now. So, for those who don't know, the rules are simple. There are 4 survivors, unless someone disconnects, versus 1 killer. The goal of the survivors is to complete 5 of the 8 generators on the map and escape through the exit gate, while the killer's goal is to kill them all. Simple enough. Each survivor can be hit once before the next hit puts them into a bleeding out state. The survivor also has 2 hooks total, with a third hook sacrificing them into the entity. There are various ways survivors can run away and stop the killer temporarily, but the killer never dies. What I'm focused on here today is the event of the survivor actually getting hit by the killer's weapon and what are the chances of survival. Keep in mind, I'm not a doctor, but I'm related to one, so runs in the family, as you could say. Anyways, so we need to know why these hits are dangerous in the first place and how our characters bleed out. The reason why blood loss is so life-threatening is because blood is what carries life, providing nutrients and, most importantly, oxygen throughout the body. Without oxygen, especially to the brain, death is imminent. Once too much blood is lost, the body goes into what is known as hemorrhagic shock, which is the body shutting down with less cardiac output and leads to organ failure due to the lack of nutrients and the oxygen. Recovery can occur at this stage if blood is stopped immediately, but if not treated, death is just around the corner. The average blood content in a human body is 4.5 to 5.5 liters, so about 5 liters on average, or 1.35 gallons. Overall though, with different bodies, shapes, and types, your blood content is about 7% of your body weight. Now, we need to figure out how much blood the characters in the game have, meaning how big are they, which will play a role in figuring out how much blood they can afford to lose. According to an interesting call out by Reddit user Top PCs, there's a sign in the map of the game that reads maximum height 6 feet 6 inches. Now, with our characters being half to 2/3 the size of the door height, it seems our Dead by Daylight characters are about 3 to 4 feet tall. Which means they're even shorter, equaling less blood. But to give our heroes the best chance, let's throw the sign out the window and assume that they are regular human height. Trust me, doesn't matter in the end. I thought assuming this and narrowing down the heights per character would be simple, and that I'd be able to find out if characters bleed out faster than others, but I would have none of this. From different Reddit sources, there are accounts of survivors being all the same size, obviously men and women being different, but all the characters in each of their respective sex being the same size. Other sources having pictures of the survivors lined up showed different heights, but the numbers seemed to fluctuate from picture to picture where each had different sizes for the character. I tried getting the heights of Bill in his original game of Left 4 Dead, but even that game couldn't escape the uncertainty that is character heights with a range from 5'7" to 6'5". I mean, come on. At a loss, the best conclusion I can stick to is the characters being the same height. And if anything, using the average height of a man and woman today would more or less even out the numbers if the characters were in fact varying heights. So, all of that just to use the average height, which would be 5 feet 9.3 inches or about 1.76 meters for men, and 5 feet 3.6 inches or about 1.61 meters for women. With average heights, we can assume that we will have the normal amount of 5 liters of blood running through their veins. Here we can say that women have the lower average end of 4.75 liters and men having the higher average end of 5.25 liters due to the difference in size. Next on the list, area of effect. Now, looking at the killers, they don't seem to have the survivor's best interest in mind when it comes to the weapons of choice. From chainsaws to bone saws, these are some pretty lethal objects. Overall, the weapons can be broken down to 3 types. Some kind of a blade, a blunt object such as a hammer and their hand, such as Hag and Demogorgon. While blades are known to make deep wounds and cause visual bleeding, blunt objects, and I guess really strong hands, can break bones causing internal bleeding. What matters now is where are the killers hitting their targets. Based on the average height of killers being greater than survivors, it seems killers tend to strike down on their victims at their upper torso to neck region, which happens to hold some major arteries and veins, such as the carotid and subclavian arteries and the jugular veins. One strong slice to the neck can easily pierce the skin and sever the artery, causing the victim to bleed out. While the killers with blunt weapons can't really slice any artery, they can definitely break some ribs and puncture organs and pierce arteries. As for hands, we can leave it to figment of your imagination. Knowing how much blood the body has, how much blood we can lose before death, which is about 2.5 liters, and where our victims will have their blood loss, we can begin answering our questions. One well-placed slice at the neck can open the jugular or carotid artery, which being the main source of blood to your brain has the ability to drain out about 100 milliliters per second. Again, that's per second. You better be applying that MadHypnotic quick because in 30 seconds you can lose up to 3 liters of blood, which means by the time you're able to even begin to search for that life-saving tape, you will for some reason wrap around your body. I mean, look, they're not even touching him. Anyways, you'll be slumped over on the ground, breathing your last breath as the killer wipes their weapon for the next soulless victim. Not only are you losing blood, but your brain just lost connection to the body and is not getting as much oxygen, if any at all, that it's used to, which is the reason why there would be such a fast death. Don't even worry about having another survivor come pick you up off the floor as you bleed out, because you'll be another reason that they'll kick the bucket too. As all they need is one swift strike like yours, and their fate is as sealed as a survivor who bled out multiple times over throughout this explanation. You would have the best shot surviving against the killers with blunt objects such as the hillbilly and Bubba, but we're ignoring the elephant in the room, that is the chainsaw, of course. However, if instead of hitting your shoulder or back, they can also swing at your head, your skull is going to crack and you'll be dead almost instantly. So, the choice is yours. Face the stabby killers, or it's hammer time. It's a good thing that this game isn't realistic, or else the games would definitely be in the killer's favor. And don't even get me started on that hook that goes right through your chest, or apparently barely grazing your shoulder if you have bad connection like me. Anyways, so long, thank you for watching, and see you in the next original explanation.